Hey everybody, Shoebox Legends here. Thanks for joining me for another COMC rummage video today. So if you've seen any of these before, you know the drill. Have tons of cards sitting around here, kind of a backlog that I have purchased over the years on COMC, which is one of my favorite online sites to procure new cards for my collection. And in these installments, I grab a small batch of them because I tend to gab, usually no more than 15 to 20. And just show them off and talk about why I went ahead and acquired them. And in today's batch, I think we have about 15 cards there in front of you. These are going to be a mix of all different sports, probably predominantly baseball and hockey, but I think I did see a couple others mixed in as I was kind of pulling these out of the boxes. Some have been around quite a while, as evidenced by the fact that they don't have the white paper receipt in the back, and then others are a little bit newer and have that paper receipt to deal with. So these have probably streamed in to my card room here at different times over the last few years, quite honestly, and I'm just getting around to kind of cataloging them now. So without further ado, let's dive into it here. Got a hockey card to start us off. One of my favorite parallels from the 90s, featuring a technology that I've spoken about a couple times recently, and that is Dufex from Pinnacle. This really awesome foil work here. This is from their 94-95 hockey release, and it is the great Mike Modano, who is arguably the greatest American-born player in the history of the NHL, and definitely one of the stars of the 90s when I grew up first collecting hockey cards. So pretty happy to have that one. I'm always on the lookout for Hall of Famers from this particular parallel set, whether it's, rink collection, as it's called in hockey, or museum collection, as it was known in baseball, and later became Starburst on the baseball side. Next up, we got a vintage baseball card here from 64 Topps. This is Harry Kraft of the Houston Colt 45s. And grabbed this for a couple reasons. Love the 64 Topps set. Don't know that I'll ever try to really complete this set, but do grab cards from the release when I can find them at cheap prices. And I have some Hall of Famers as well that I'll probably show off at some point in the future here on the channel. But in addition to that, I just love forgotten franchises of the past, and the Colt 45s are definitely one of the more unique and short-lived ones on the baseball side of the house. So I thought that was a cool addition, and love managers cards as well. So a lot of reasons that it made sense to bring that one home to the collection. Here's a basketball card. I've shown this release a few times now, sort of like half-heartedly working on completing the 71-72 Topps basketball set. It's not a huge set, and there aren't a ton of like Hall of Fame rookie cards or anything, and I enjoy the design, so I've just kind of been grabbing some cheap ones when I run across them. Don't recall what I paid for Jerry Lucas here, but it certainly wouldn't have been more than $1. That's kind of my rule of thumb. If I find one of these in good shape and it's pocket change only or less than $1, I will tend to scoop it up. So that's another one towards that long-term basketball project. Here's a very fun non-sport pickup from the 1960s, going way back here. I've shown probably one or two of these off before because I do grab them when I see them cheap, but it's from the Batman Black Bat release in 1966, and this is the Threat of the Catwoman card. And you can see Catwoman here is kind of coming at Robin with a sword. So interesting photo, not really sure what's going on there. You can pause this and read the back if you'd really care to, but these are small sets. They're just a lot of fun. I've always kind of been a Batman fan since I was a little kid, and first saw the late 80s Tim Burton version with Jack Nicholson as the Joker, and right up through the modern releases. And there's actually a Batman release coming out in the very near future, or maybe out already by the time this airs, that I'm excited to see as well. So I just think those cards are fun. Here's one. Picked this one up back when I was more of a diehard Red Sox team collector. I don't think I'd probably spend the COMC credit on this any longer, but it's a yellow parallel out of 2015 Bowman featuring Henry Owens. These were like Walgreens exclusive parallels, I believe. Again, not a card that I would probably pursue today, but that one's been kicking around a while. This is one here. This is a Trax parallel from the very first O-Pee-Chee Platinum hockey set, which came in 2014-15. Just loved these cards. I really fell in love with this set when it came out. It's been very successful from Upper Deck, and it turns out that they stuck with this, and they produce these O-Pee-Chee Platinum cards right up to the present season. So this has become a very popular release, and I love these early copies. Any kind of shiny parallel of a star or a player that I enjoy, such as Claude Giroux, is a hit. So there's one for the hockey PC. This is a set build card from the 50s. I've talked about it a couple times, but my biggest overall goal for this year is to enhance my 1950s baseball portion of my collection. And this is a nice low-hanging fruit card towards that end. It's needed for my 59 top set, and it features Hall of Famer Red Schoendienst for the Milwaukee Braves. So pretty nice shot there. Not perfectly centered, but very few of my 59 tops are. I'll show it off someday on a video. It's a little bit harder for me to shoot binders without some work, but I'll try to dig out the 59 tops set binder and show that off. But the moral of the story there is I will take, almost any condition, at least as a filler card. And so that's a pretty nice condition Hall of Famer there towards that project. I think I'm well past the halfway point now on a 59 top set, which is, not an insignificant number. Another set that I'm working on showed a huge card from this release recently in my Sandy Koufax rookie card that I picked up, 55 tops. And this one's really cool. Features maybe the most famous Uni-Brow in the history of baseball cards, that belonging to Mr. Wally Moon, pictured here with the St. Louis Cardinals. And look at that eyebrow. Pretty incredible. Just love his cards. Don't mean to poke fun at the man. He was obviously a very talented baseball player, but just can't get past that. And it's the first thing I notice anytime I pick up one of his cards. Here's a quick shiny one that is destined to go into Grimace, my all-purple card Z-Folio from 2013 Topps Heritage, future Hall of Famer CC Sabathia on a beautiful chrome purple refractor. These are not numbered, but they're not rare or even scarce, but they're just really nice looking cards. I love the purple, love the kind of dimpled effect in the background. And of course, CC was a very successful pitcher at the major league level for many years. So that will look quite nice in my purple Z folio. Grimace is going to be eaten well tonight. Next up, we have a buyback. So this is one that I'll basically compare against my buyback Frankenset, see if he makes the cut from the 2019 Topps Heritage set on a 1970 Topps card. We have Dan McInn of the Montreal Expos. Again, I routinely comb COMC for these Heritage buybacks, and if I find one that I don't already own, or sometimes that I even do already own, and it's less than $1, I will buy it. They're box toppers, and they're not the only type of box topper in Heritage either. So my guess is, in a 12-box Topps Heritage case, you probably only get 7 or 8 of those buybacks. So they're pretty rare cards, and for $1, I'll grab just about any common player towards that collection. Here's a shiny hockey card from the lone standalone Panini Prism hockey release. A nice blue Daniel Sedin, one of these Sedin twins. The blue, of course, looks fantastic with the Canucks uniform here. Check out the etching. I mean, just look at the detail through Daniel's face, helmet, the Canucks sweater. Look at the logo just glowing. I can't get enough of this set. I just buy these up anytime I see them, especially of future Hall of Fame players or Hall of Fame players when the price point is right, and that was definitely the case with that Sedin. They tend not to be highly collected for some reason, the Sedin brothers, but I find them to be pretty fun. Here's a football card. I think the only one from that sport in today's video. Peyton Manning from his late career stint, very successful stint with the Denver Broncos. This is a silver prism out of Select Football in 2019. Just a gloriously shiny card. I was a big football fan right in the height of the Brady versus Manning era, throughout the 2000s and early 2010s. So I have a lot of fond memories of the guy, and definitely wanted him represented in my football Z folio, even though I'm not a huge football collector. So found that shiny card and couldn't pass it up. Speaking of shiny cards, here's one of pretty talented athlete that is probably the most collected guy in hockey, Connor McDavid. So this is a retro rainbow parallel out of the aforementioned O-Pee-Chee Platinum release. This is not directly designed after any one previous hockey release, but instead just kind of uses some generic elements that are, retro in their vibe or their styling to create a unique design. These are, of course, available in regular chrome, but this one happens to be a rainbow, which is, in effect, a refractor in the world of O-Pee-Chee Platinum. You can see on the back here, this is from the 2019-2020 release, so relatively new card. And anytime you can get a nice shiny Mcdavid like that without breaking the bank, you kind of just pounce on that opportunity as a hockey collector, in my opinion. So happy to have another Connor for the ever-growing player collection that I have of him. 2 cards left here. We got a vintage baseball card up first, and this one will be fitting. I recently did a quick episode where I rummaged through some early 50s Bowman baseball, and I didn't talk about this set in the episode, but a couple of its predecessors. But this may be my favorite of the ones that I touched on. 1952 Bowman. Beautiful card here of Larry Jansen of the New York Giants. Constantly seeking these out. I don't know if I'll ever practically finish a 52 Bowman set in my lifetime, but they're just so beautiful. Love the color, centering, and just overall vibrant appeal of this one. I don't really know much about Larry Jansen, but I pretty much fall in love with any card that looks this nice and is this old. It's just kind of a small little work of art. And the back is in pretty good shape here too. Don't even have any gum staining or paper loss or anything. So these are the exact type of condition cards that I look for and hope for when it comes to early 50s Bowman. And then the final card of today's video is a Hartford Whalers card. It was newly produced, but it's a throwback card. Upper Deck canvas inserts have existed for more than 10 years now. And in recent years, well, really since the beginning, there have been some retired players that have been short printed on the canvas checklist. And this one features a beloved Hartford Whaler, my favorite hockey team of all time, Ray Ferraro, nicknamed Chicken Parm. And if we take a look at the back, this is from the 2019-20 Upper Deck Series 2 release. And again, I believe this was short printed, as most of the veterans are in the canvas set, but it's not a super desirable card. So I was able to bring it home for just, I think, $2 or maybe even slightly less. So that's a wrap. There are 15 totally random pickups from my perusing of COMC over the years. I'll be organizing these into the collection here once I stop this video, and I hope you saw at least something in today's variety that interested you. I certainly thank you for stopping by, spending a little bit of your very valuable time checking out my sports cards. I'll be back in the very near future with some more sports card content. And until then, keep on enjoying the hobby, everybody.